to the Signing Back. My name is Tokika Uzuru, also known as Toki, and today we're going to be talking about divination. This video in particular is going to be about divination through cartomancy. Now, divination specifically might sound like a magical word that only maybe like witches and psychics actually use, and kinda yeah, but no. Divination specifically is the practice of seeking higher knowledge through supernatural means. And in today's video, we're actually going to be talking about divination through cartomancy, which is the practice of using cards to seek higher knowledge in a supernatural sense. There's 3 different types of cards that you can use when doing divination through cartomancy. And that is oracle cards, tarot cards, and regular playing cards. However, I don't have an oracle deck right now, so I can't really say much on oracle cards. So instead, we're actually going to start with regular playing cards. And the reason why I call them regular playing cards is basically it's the cards that you end up playing poker, goldfish, I Declare War, those type of card games. Solitaire, which I think I'm going to end up playing if I have the time to after this video. So just, as the name says, regular playing cards. And the main reason on why they ended up using these is one, because they're similar to the minor arcana and tarot cards, and they're very discreet. So like when divination through cartomancy was seen as a bad thing because it was put under the umbrella of a witchcraft practice, people still wanted to go ahead and know their future or have help through supernatural means with problems that they were having. Ergo, they ended up using numerology and figuring out how to use regular playing cards and read them similar to tarot cards. Now there's 4 suits in the regular playing cards, and each suit has its own meaning or has its own group of meanings. It also corresponds with the 4 main elements. So the suit of hearts would actually correspond with water, or anything that has to deal with emotions or your heart specifically. The suit of diamonds corresponds with earth and physical or material things. The suit of clubs or clovers would correspond with the element of fire and has to deal with spirit or actions. And the suit of spades would correspond with the element air and would have to deal with the mental. And in each suit you would have the ace, the 2 through 10, and the jack, queen, and king cards. Ace would have to talk about new energy. The number 2 card would end up dealing with harmony or balance. The number 3 card would have to deal with public partnerships. Number 4, stability. Number 5, change or struggles. Number 6, perseverance. Number 7, perfection or experience. Number 8, advancement. Number 9, completion. Number 10, end a cycle. Jack usually has to deal with action or protection. Queen, mentor, teacher, mastery. And king, excellence or mastery. So that's all good and dandy, but it means nothing if you can't put it together. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to shuffle these regular playing cards, actually the botanical ones, where it gives you pictures of like other different types of plants, and I'll show you how I go ahead and read that, use that in my readings as well. So right now I'm just shuffling the cards. Typically there's no one specific way to shuffle. You can shuffle however you feel like it, or whatever is comfortable for you, what your intuition tells you to shuffle. I would try to do something fancy, and there we go. So a card popped out when I was talking, so I have to finish that thought. I would do something fancy, but one, right now I'm standing and I don't feel like having to pick up so many cards, and two, I haven't figured out any type of fancy tricks yet. So right in my hand, I have the Nine of Spades with the sweet pea flowers on it. They have two different colors on here. That's fun. I just have to go ahead and check to see what the meaning of the sweet pea flower is. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to dissecting this card specifically. So here we have the Nine of Spades. So of course, the spades happens to deal with the element of air and anything mental. The number 9 happens to deal with completion, whether it's close to completion or it's already been completed. So this would have to deal with completing a mental cycle. Now, in the middle of filming this video, I had to do a quick research on what the sweet pea flower meant. And it is actually a symbol of someone leaving after a positive experience. So that also goes with the meaning of the Nine of Spades. Putting that all together, it is a positive completion of some sort of mental cycle you've been going on. Whether that be finding out the main reason on why the cycle kept on continuing, or actually finding out why it happened in the first place. And that's how I would personally read regular playing cards. So now we're on to tarot cards, which you end up, if you ever like dip your toe into anything that happens to deal with witchcraft or spirituality specifically, you'll end up learning that a lot of people love to talk about tarot cards. And there's a lot of information specifically on tarot cards. So I'm not going to go through the meaning of all of the cards similar to the way I did the playing cards, because that's a bit easier to explain, at least, because it's similar to like a multiplication table, if you remember that. Because I do. Tarot cards specifically have another layer of mystery on them because there are so many different types of tarot cards. What I'm talking about is the standard Rider-Waite deck, which would end up having 78 cards. To help understand, it's going to be split into two parts: the major arcana and the minor arcana. Now, the major arcana are the first 22 cards that you end up seeing when it comes to a regular or standard tarot deck. They're numbered 0 through 21. Yes, 0 counts in this case. And it's from the Fool, which is the 0 card, 0 number card, and the World, which is the number 21 card. And the major arcana cards actually have to do with like overall themes or meanings, like longer term type things. Like I have the Tower card in my hand right now, which some people might find to be very scary, but I don't. And that usually happens to deal with like the breaking of a shaky foundation, or seeing basically everything that you build up crashing down in front of you. And it's showing you that there's a problem with your foundation. So the meaning there is, if you're not checking to see if there's any type of problem with the foundation, then the tower itself is literally going to start crumbling down. But that was just an example of one of the major arcana cards. And now we're on to the minor arcana cards as I continue to shuffle these cards because I need something to play with in my hands. Now, the minor arcana cards are similar to your regular deck of playing cards. However, it actually has 4 more cards than the regular deck of playing cards. Of course, you have your ace card, your 2 through 10, and it has a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. And also similar to a regular deck of playing cards, the minor arcana in the tarot deck have 4 suits. Cups would represent the hearts, which happens to deal with the element of water or anything emotional. Coins or pentacles are in place of the diamonds, which happen to deal with the element of earth or anything that's physical or material. The wands replace the clovers or clubs, which actually happen to deal with the element of fire and anything that's spirit or action. And the swords replace the spades, which happens to deal with the element of air and anything mental. And the way you shuffle your tarot deck is, again, up to you, depending on the way you want to shuffle it, whether you want to do like some sort of crazy shuffling move or something simple. One thing you might end up noticing is that the regular playing cards are a lot smaller and easier to handle than like a tarot deck, because this is literally almost the size of my hand. So let's see, what type of card do I want to use as another example. Now usually when you get a tarot deck, or when you get a new tarot deck, it comes with a book to help you with reading it and understanding the meaning of each card and all of the imagery and the pictures of the card. However, this deck specifically did not come with a book, which means all of this is just my interpretation of the cards. So surprisingly enough, we ended up getting a minor arcana card, which I will be reading similar to the regular deck of playing cards that I just showed earlier in the video. And again, there's the picture, and then there's actually a zodiac symbol that specifically is Scorpio. So I'll also be showing you how I put that into my interpretation of each card. So this card specifically is the 7 of Cups. 7 usually happens to deal with perfection or experience, and cups happen to deal with the element of water or anything emotional. Which, very funny, because the name Nessie is actually a nickname given to the Loch Ness Monster, which is some sort of lizard monster that's hidden in Scotland waters, as the legend says. And Scorpio is actually a water sign, so this works perfectly. So perfect emotions, or some sort of emotional experience, which you probably would feel when it comes to actually seeing the Loch Ness Monster. So it's like an emotional secret, because again, it's kind of a myth. I'm not sure. Do I believe in it? Oh, I'm keeping that in the video now. It is said to have been a myth, which means it either doesn't exist or they're keeping it on the low. They're keeping it secretive. And when I think of the zodiac sign for Scorpio, I think secretive. So putting all of that together to figure out the meaning of this card, at least my interpretation of it, would be some sort of emotional experience that affected you a lot, or would affect you a lot, but you don't want to talk about it. Maybe it was a traumatic experience, or maybe it was just something that makes you feel happy. Either way, it's an emotional experience that you don't want to talk about. And that's how I would personally read tarot cards. And that is all I'm going to be doing for today's video, because trying to talk about all of the meanings of at least the major arcana cards in the tarot deck, it's going to take even longer. So before I get ahead of myself, it is time for me to do the stereotypical YouTuber outro, where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, would ask you to do the following. If you like this specific video, you can go ahead and press the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell if you want to be notified of whenever I post. If you actually want a video and me explaining my interpretation of at least the major arcana cards, because I at least have that down, maybe, you can go ahead and put that idea and all of your other ideas that happen to deal with the mystical, magical, supernatural, paranormal, or the nature-based spiritual path that I specifically call witchcraft, and the rest of your comments, questions, and concerns in the comment section below. Now that I have my tarot cards away, I have been Toki Uzuru, also known as Toki, and this is Toki saying Toki out.